Hey, I'm Hannah Blankenship.
I'm Sarah Lanier.
This video is for Dr. K. Brocato's Planning for the Diversity of Learners class fall 2016. In this video, we will discuss how a teacher plans to use procedures to design the physical layout of 7th grade math classrooms so that students take an active part in the transition between activities. In doing this, the teacher is able to use a variety of activities and is not limited by physical constraints.
Hey, Hannah. Hey, Sarah. I'm so glad we could have lunch together today.
Me too. I really needed it.
How are your classes going?
They're great. I'm a little nervous though.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, I have a lot of questions.
Questions are my specialty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, after taking Dr. Brocato's class and reading Carol Weinstein's book, I'm a little confused about classroom management and curriculum.
Well, there's a lot to be said there, especially when you consider Tier 1 interventions. You have to consider the physical setting of your classroom. You have to consider the culture that you set up for your classroom. You have to consider the curriculum, of course, and you have to consider rules and procedures, not to mention community interactions. I figured we should break it down and have lunch more often and talk about all of these individually. But you can easily tie procedures and curriculum together because you create what's called a hidden curriculum. I don't know if you've talked about that in any of your classes yet, but a hidden curriculum gives you a chance to teach things that aren't necessarily written down in books or in the course of study, but they're kind of expectations, whether they be cultural expectations or societal expectations, that you try to transmit to your students. And one of the ways you do that is through procedures. We teach our students how to behave in the classroom. We teach them how to conduct themselves because when they get out of class, even if they go on to college, they still have to know certain expectations of how they should behave. And then if they're not in college, they have to know how to handle the business world. So I have some procedures that I usually use to help manage my classroom that are curriculum oriented. I got some friends together and we made some video clips. Why don't we take a look at how easy it is to instill these procedures in the beginning of class?
According to Harry Wong, procedures are important. Carol Weinstein also says to have few rules. Whether you are planning to have class discussions or group work, physical layout is important and should change for each activity. Students need to understand what is expected of them. They also need to practice the procedure to get it right.
That picture will be on the board when you come in. When that picture's on the board when you come in, what I need you to do is to put your desk together in a table shape. So you should have 4 desks together to make a rectangle. So you can decide whether you want to arrange them facing each other or whether you want to arrange them where you have a chair on each side. Okay? So I'm going to give you about, about 30 seconds, and let's see how many tables we can put together.
1, 2, 3. Lean on me when you're strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lean on me for it won't be long till I'm gonna be.
Okay. Nice job, guys.
The same math standard is used for this scene. Students are setting the space for a discussion. This is culturally relevant because the students are actively creating an environment where they all have an equal voice and are expected to equally participate. The teacher can be proximally close to any student and easily help students stay on task and intervene when necessary.
Some of these designs are illustrated in Carol Weinstein's book in Chapter 2.
In a circle of friends, we have one Father. In a circle of friends, we share this prayer. shelter of this circle of friends.
Like it or not, there are times when the desks have to be in rows. Perhaps the most common reason is for assessments. Students again see the same math standard, but the learning objective is different. The arrangement of the furniture clearly conveys the curricular objective of the assessment, and students are active in the setup through the procedures.
Undefeated and we're still believing in the one thing that has gotten us this far. And
Then you can come back in and we're going to see how quickly you can follow procedure.
In this scene, students demonstrate how the procedures would work in a classroom as if they are walking in the door. In his book, Harry Wong explains how important practice is, so even though there isn't anything official for the students to do, so having them practice the procedures you want them to do is important. Culturally, this gives them the chance to help and demonstrate societal norms they will use now and in the future.
In a circle of friends, we have one Father. In a circle of friends, we share this prayer, that every orphan soul will know and all will enter in to the shelter of this circle of friends.
Theories are good, but it is important to see many perspectives on the issue. We interviewed 3 teachers to see what they said about procedures and choosing curricula.
I do very little in classroom, to be perfectly honest. Being admin, I believe learning should be, hands-on. So I like to do a lot of stuff, a lot of classroom activity, and then focus on more outside activity to be able to give a hands-on component to the book.
I do rearrange my classroom for the activities that I choose for my students to take part in, not based on how my classroom is already set up. I do let my students rearrange their desks when they have activities that require them working in partners. I have them move their desks closer to one another so that they don't have to yell across the room or get up and move around. They can pull their desks together and do whatever the activity requires. My procedures, I guess, are pretty much understood. I've told them at least one time that they are not to move the furniture, that I will rearrange things the way that I need it to be. Most of the time I do the rearranging myself, but on occasion I will let them move the desks the way that they need to be moved, as long as it was my idea.
I don't always choose activities for my students based on how my classroom is arranged. I usually arrange my classroom to fit the activity. I think that's what the question's asking. I usually, if we're working in groups, then I arrange them into groups that can be navigated easily, that the students don't have a difficult time getting to their seat, and I don't have difficulty getting from group to group. Sometimes students rearrange the classroom for me, or if we have an activity and I haven't already moved desks or moved tables or chairs or whatever, I let them do it, but they understand, which goes into question number 4. It's, when I direct them to in a particular way, in a particular fashion, like they have directions for rearranging furniture in the classroom.
As you can see, our video has focused on procedures where students can help arrange the physical layout of the classroom. While not all teachers allow students to arrange their desks, each teacher monitors his or her classroom and creates a culture in the classroom to enhance student learning. This is done through a hidden curriculum and is different for each teacher. The takeaway message is to put procedures in place and to work for you as the curriculum director and for your students to build a community of learning. Thanks for watching.